y'all. I'm the president of New York Student Leadership Council, and today I'm meeting with Jacy Good, one of our speakers from the Speaker Bureau. I'm so excited. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Jacy, and I live in White Plains, New York.
All right. So I guess let's just start out. Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, my story starts when I was 21 years old on my college graduation day, driving home from that really perfect morning with my family when our car was hit by a semi-truck, an 18-wheeler who was swerving to miss a driver who had turned left through a red light. That young driver was 18 years old. He was a high school student. He was a good kid, but he was talking on his cell phone. And when he came to a red light, he just wasn't paying attention, turned left through that red light. And the resulting collision that happened, unfortunately, it killed both of my parents, put me in the hospital for 4 months, almost killed me, the left side of my body is paralyzed because of that person on their phone. So this day that started so incredibly kind of turned my world upside down and made me have to figure out how to live life again. And I'm lucky that I'm alive, that I am here and able to share this story, trying to make a difference in anyone else's life.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah.
It's so inspiring that you're using your experience to inspire other people. So, how did you get started as a speaker?
Whew, good question. It was such a scary part of life of just trying to figure out how to get back on my feet. I was kind of too injured to work for a really long time. I was in therapies every day, and then this happened in Pennsylvania, and I was trying to get a law passed in Pennsylvania because I learned that there have been no punishments for either of these other drivers, even though they both broke laws. It was really upsetting and confusing to me. Like, New York had laws at that point. I knew that, and a couple other states did too. I had done the research. I knew that, like, scientifically, we know it's dangerous to use a phone. To me, it made sense that the laws should reflect that and protect people on the roads.
Yeah.
That was a press conference, got my name out. I kept sharing this story, kind of snowballed. Being on the Oprah Winfrey show a bunch of years ago got a lot of attention, got me into schools, which initially was kind of really intimidating and scary, but it was also empowering to feel that I had the ability to use this awful story to maybe make something good out of this worst day of my life.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I've never been able to hear you speak, but I have a few friends that have, and they always say how moving and empowering it was. Oh my gosh. So I guess, let's see. What makes you keep doing this job? That's a good one. Keep you
It's
going.
just, yeah, it's so incredible getting to share this story, just getting to recognize how lucky I am. Like, doctors did not think I would survive. First it was I had a 10% chance of living through the first night, and then my chances kept getting a little higher and a little higher, but there were all these complications that so many times I almost never left that hospital. I think I'm here for a reason, and when I go to schools, when I meet students and hear that it changed them, it impacted them, or meeting students who have their own stories, which everywhere I've been, someone has a story of how their family or their community has been impacted by these kind of selfish choices that we're making on the road.
Mm-hmm. What can teen drivers do to make sure that something like this never happens?
I think we've got to start with ourselves. We got to look in the mirror, and, you know, young people, well, let me start over. Adults like to blame young people, but you talk to young people and we're setting a terrible example. So we got to set a higher standard for everyone around us. It's making a promise to yourself that you're not going to use the phone. You know it's dangerous. You don't want to put your life or somebody else's life at risk. Make a promise to yourself, make a promise to your friends, hold each other accountable to that kind of higher standard that you're going to be the safest drivers that you can possibly be, because it's kind of easy to forget, but driving is the most dangerous thing we do every day, especially for young people. And you don't think about it when you get in the car that this might kill you, but we got to treat it as seriously as it really is.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know I just started driving this summer, and a lot of my friends are too. And it's exciting at first to be able to be independent, but you really have to remember how important this is and like how much destruction it can cause. It's important to take it seriously.
Exactly.
So I know you used to come to schools to speak, but what are you doing now?
So I've been to one school in the last 9 months. Somehow they figured out how to socially distance students that I could go and speak to students. In the meantime, it's been doing it virtually, doing whatever I can to keep getting this message out there that there is nothing on a phone more important than a human life. And it's not quite the same being virtual, but still I've gotten an incredible response being able to reach out to classrooms and things like Lions clubs, whatever we can, to kind of try and reach the whole community for all of us to just drive a little bit smarter and safer and kinder to all the people around us.
Very, very well put. Yeah. It's really great that you're still putting that message out there. Is your presentation just geared towards high school students, or is it just New York? Who is it? Who's the audience?
My presentation is whoever I am speaking to, whether it's the person in front of me in the grocery store line or being in front of high school students, speaking to corporations and telling them that if they put a policy in place that it can set a standard for their employees to help them drive safer when they're on the job and also drive safer when they're at home, they're driving with their child who's going to drive just like they drive, setting that example from the earliest age we possibly can.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I've got a Lions Club coming up. It's churches. It's a lot of high schools because that's where most of the demand is, trying to set the right habit from the very beginning. You know, it's a lot easier to set a good habit when you first start learning how to drive than being a person who's been driving. You know, I've been driving for half my life and those habits get pretty ingrained. It's hard to break a bad habit, but you start right from the very beginning that you know what is safe. That's the way you drive. That's kind of, it's got to be the ticket to safer roads, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very true. So how could a school in New York get you to come speak to them?
Yeah, so I've been lucky to speak all over the country, a couple of other countries, but I live in New York and we've got this grant in New York. Lauren, is there anything I should say about how they can book through the grant, or just have them reach out to me? Do they reach out to?
Pretty much anyone, right? So you can reach out to Jacy, or you can reach out to me. You can reach out to us via social media, whatever makes it easier for you, whether you're a teacher or administrator, or you're part of a local club or coalition or some sort of community organization. By all means, just reach out. We've got things all over the place. There's even a form floating around there on the interweb that you can just make a couple clicks and we'll know that you're interested in booking Jacy. There's really any number of ways to make sure you can book Jacy. And like we said, it's all for free. It's covered under this grant, which is a pretty unique opportunity.
Yeah.
My website is hangupanddrive.com. If a New York student or teacher goes through there, we can get under this grant and provide this really incredible opportunity for free to schools and communities.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. It's been very inspiring to hear your story. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, let me just put in quick that the pandemic has been kind of really scary, weird, different, unexpected, all these things. Our roads are really scary right now. You know, at first there was no cars on the road, and so numbers were down of like who was getting hurt, who was getting killed, how many crashes were happening on our roads. And unfortunately, as traffic has slowly come back, it almost feels like we've forgotten how to drive. Like our good habits, we kind of forgot. We need our phones. Our phones have been lifesavers through this pandemic, but now we're on the road. We need to get back to that commitment to being the safest and the smartest drivers we can be, and the phone doesn't belong in that equation.
Very, very true. Yeah. I think over the pandemic, people have become a little too reliant on technology, and it's important to go back to how it was before.
Yep.
And even better. Okay. Thank you so much. It's been really good to meet you.
Thank you. It's great to meet you too.
Well, thank you, Jacy, so much for joining us today and giving us a little sneak peek into what your program looks like. Thank you, Rebecca, for hosting this interview for us. We love it when we get to see our SADD students out there. And if, again, you're looking to book Jacy or any of our New York State Speakers Bureau speakers, you can reserve that spot at ny.sadd.org. You can find us at New York SADD, spelled out New York, on any socials, and click our links. You will be able to request our speakers, or you can find Jacy at Jacy Good. I know she likes to tell you that she's
I'm the only Jacy Good out there. I'm pretty sure of that.
I think you are. And at hangupanddrive.com, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. With that said, thank you. Please get in contact. We'll get you Jacy.
Bye, guys.